अस्सलाम वालेकुम ऑल फ्रेंड्स। आज हम आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे एव बैटरीज कैन द वेस्ट कैच अप विथ चाइना। Chinese firms currently dominate the electric vehicle battery supply chain from mining and refining through to final assembly. This leaves Western automakers with little option but to rely on Chinese made batteries. The Shanghai Auto Show is opening its doors to car enthusiasts all over the world on Tuesday after it was cancelled last year due to China's strict zero COVID curbs. A slew of Chinese and foreign automakers taking part in the event are gearing to impress the visitors by unveiling their latest model and technologies, particularly electric vehicles apps. Chinese firms including BYD, Geely, and NIO will display a bevy of electric vehicles with which they aim to cement their already far made able position in the world's largest auto and EV market. It shows how apps have come to steal the show in the globally auto scene aimed car. Ambitious, ambitious e-mobility plans and support from government worldwide against the backdrop of growing concerns over climate change. The Biden administration in the United States, for instance, is proposing new rules to cut pollution from automobiles, which could require as many as two-thirds of new vehicles sold in the United States to be electric by 2032. That would be a nearly tenfold increase over current electric vehicle sales. The EU, meanwhile, aims to speed up the switch to EVs by effectively banning the scale of new petrol and diesel cars in the bloc from 2030. Electric vehicle sales worldwide, ये देख लें फ्रेंड्स, फिगर इन मिलियंस। चाइना, यूरोप, यूएस, रेस्ट ऑफ वर्ल्ड। ये देख लें फ्रेंड्स, चाइना ब्लैक है और यूरोप स्काई ब्लू है, यूएस रेड है, रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ये आपके सामने है। डिमांड फॉर एव बैटरीज टू स्काई रॉकेट। News agency Reuters estimate that the world's top automakers are planning to invest nearly $1.2 trillion, 1.08 trillion pound in EVs and batteries through 2030. And according to the International Energy Agency, the share of battery-powered cars in total auto sales worldwide will jump from about 10% in 2021 to more than 60% by 2030. All these tens of millions of vehicles will need plenty of batteries, the single most expensive component in a electric vehicle, accounting for about 30 to 40% of its cost. Given the anticipated surge in demand, governments and companies are racing to secure adequate supplies. But there's one country that clearly in the lead when it comes to battery tech: China. The Asia giant dominates battery production, accounting for almost 75% of global manufacturing capacity, according to Bloomberg NEF. China's firms also control various stages of the supply chain, from mining and refining to final assembly. China's dominance of the sector stems from the fact that the Chinese government has priorities electric vehicle technology for year, spending billions of dollars in investment, subsidized and tax breaks to support the sector. No green transition without Chinese batteries. Many Western automakers like Tesla and General Motors currently rely on Chinese firms like contemporary Amperex Technology Co. catl, the world's biggest producer of EV batteries for their battery needs. Global EV battery market share in 2022. catl तो फ्रेंड्स सबसे ज़्यादा इस पे इत्माद किया जा रहा है। Ford Motors recently announced that it's licensing catl lithium iron phosphate technology for use in new battery plant in it will set up in the US state of Michigan. The deals show that foreign automakers who want to ditch their guzzling internal combustion engines for electric ones won't be able to do it without turning to Chinese made batteries. But they have also drawn criticism from some in the West. US Senator Marco Rubio, for instance, urged the Biden administration to review Ford's licensing tied up with cattle. EV batteries have already become a point of geopolitical tension between China and the West, said TULE managing director of Sinu Auto Insights, a business consulting firm that specializes in transportation. He pointed out that the Biden administration, with the Inflation Reduction Act (IRA), is trying to take Chinese battery cells out of US EV manufacturing supply chains for vehicle manufactured in North America. The IRA funnels some $370 billion into subsidies for energy transition, including tax breaks for US made EVs and batteries. To be eligible for the incentives, campaign must source a certain percentage of the components and minerals for EV batteries from the US or its free trade. How does EU fare in battery tech? The EU has also been pushing for a domestic EV battery industry. For year in 2017, the bloc launched the European Battery Alliance to kick-start local production. The goal was to get European suppliers to meet 90% of the region battery needs by 2030. European countries like Germany have important technologies for certain parts of the EV battery tech value, for instance, in recycling, and have been at the forefront of trailing new battery chemistries like sodium-ion batteries, said xpeng. But the stressed that European battery industry lacks scale and faces difficulties to bridge the gap from initial development to widespread commercialization in certain parts of the value chain, like the refining of raw materials. Europe is almost entirely dependent on East Asian firms. Companies like Volkswagen, VW have planned to invest mines to secure raw material for battery making. As part of its 180 billion pound $199.8 billion 5 years spending plan, VW has allocated up to 15 billion pound for its 3 announced battery plants and some raw material sourcing. Some EU countries like Hungary, meanwhile, have been wooing foreign manufacturers, including Chinese ones, to set up battery plants. European firms can catch up, but it will be a uphill battle, said Sebastian. The F battery industry remains in flux. European firms' best bet to overtake China would be on new upcoming technology like sodium state batteries that are not yet dominated by any firm. तो फ्रेंड्स, उम्मीद करते हैं कि इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके लिए इंतहाई अहम होगी। इस तरह की मज़ीद मालूमाती और इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियोज़ हासिल करने के लिए हमारे चैनल को लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए, ताकि आने वाली तमाम तर इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियोज़ आप तक बआसानी और टाइम पर पहुँच सकें। थैंक्स एंड अल्लाह।